This has been a weird night. I love that there's just soft techno right behind me right now. I feel like I should be like shaking it. Then we have Sex and the City 3 back in the background. And then when I was walking in, you folks with the like hat with the trident on it, I don't play sports, so I don't know what that is. I thought your dog, because just gently cradled, was a full baby. Okay, I was about to say, you do look like people who call your animals fur babies and expect us to be fine with it. How old is she in months only? Okay, so she's too small to be out this late. Okay, you're doing so good at being parents right now. Don't worry, baby, it gets better. You become a comedian when your parents do this to you. But yeah, in case you can't tell, I'm not from Seattle. Do we have any Seattleites who are born and bred here? Okay, good to be shy, because the other folks, they get really aggressive, and then I get jumps to Pearl Jam in the background. It's too much. But no, I've really grown to love Seattle. It's a beautiful place. I love everything about it, and I've adopted the culture. I really have. I don't make small talk with strangers anymore. I haven't owned an umbrella since 2018, and I always refer to myself as the 12th man. Whatever that is. Baseball, right? Just kidding, I know it's soccer. But as much as I love Seattle, there are some things I'll almost never be able to wrap my mind around, right? Like the Seattle dog. Yeah, who let the Midwesterners get into the lead this time? Last time that happened, we had Jell-O molds with meat in it. It's so gross. The other thing I can't wrap my mind around is the foam wall. I wish I was a fly on the wall when that went down, right? Yeah, how I imagine it going down was the owner of Pike Place himself, Mr. Pike. He's just ranting and raving. Kids these days are so disrespectful with their gum and their shoes and their music and their TikToks. Wait, actually, that's a conversation I had earlier this week with my dad. But if you substitute TikToks for MTV, it's pretty much the exact same thing. And he's just ranting and raving at his poor, unpaid, because it's the 90s, intern Pikel. And Pikel's just in his head. He's going, yeah, this man has never scraped a piece of gum off the wall his entire life. I'm better than this. I am a business intern at UW. But Pikel, he uses that business degree. He turns to his boss and goes, boss, I think if we really play with the grunge factor, people will come from everywhere to see it. It will become big. And because Mr. Pike was still high from his cocaine letter the night before, I'll give her the words big and come and agreed immediately. That's okay. It grows on you, much like the gum wall, I think. I hope. But I know you all are wondering, Toria, where are you from? I am from Nevada, not Vegas. I know you were just about to ask me that. I'm actually from a small town that is significantly less classy than Vegas. Hard to believe, I know, but who here has heard of a little thing called truck nuts? For all of you perverts who are laughing, you know what it is, but those who aren't, truck nuts are these little silicone testes that look like they were just plucked off of a Ken doll, draped over the trailer hitch of a truck to attract women. I've never seen it happen, so I can't say. But I bring up truck nuts because Elko is known as a one truck stop, multiple truck nut kind of town. The scrot to stop ratio, absolutely ridiculous. In fact, it is projected within the next 4 years, the number of truck nuts will exceed Elko's entire population. Yeah, this is mostly because Elko has started a modesty campaign against breastfeeding mothers. Because, as any good American will tell you, the only sexualized body part that should be hanging and slinging in a non-sexual manner are balls. But mothers, being clever as per usual, have figured out that if you just kind of cover up your situation with nuts, people have a tendency to leave you alone. And start out with them like balancing one on their chest and the other on the baby's forehead. But some others, they wanted a little bit more coverage, so they took those like really ugly crocheted blankets and started crocheting truck nuts onto them. It looks like the world's ugliest Pandora bracelet. And it's just as much of a choking hazard. I'm glad you laughed at that. That means that you were fine with nuts not only being on a baby's forehead, but also in their mouth. Real classy group you got here, folks. But yeah, no, I lived in Elko for 18 years, which is so long that by the time I could drive myself to school, the parking lot where I parked was actually the hospital I was born in. Yeah, the one that they tore down a year after I was born because they finally decided it had too much asbestos in it. Small town things. And if you don't believe how bad Elko is, I'd like to give you 2 points of contention. Have we all heard of Bing Crosby? He sung, I'm dreaming of a light. Yeah, that guy. He was made the honorary mayor of Elko in 1948 because he just loved the culture so much. I don't know what's more embarrassing, the fact that he couldn't become real mayor of Elko, or the fact that Elko thought that the culture was something more than brothels and barbiturates. Speaking of brothels, Elko has a casino, church, and brothel all within a block of each other. And on any given Sunday, the pastor's coming out of 2 out of 3. Good times, good times. But yeah, no. So we have a lot of married folks, but is anybody dating? Maybe, yeah, that sounds about right. Have you been on dating apps before? How do you feel about them? Oh, you guys said no. You are just bragging. Like, oh, sorry, you're single? I'm in love. Love that for you. It's not going to last. Just kidding. Sorry, I'm sorry. I wish you all the best. But yeah, now, how do you feel about dating apps? Okay. Yeah, I love dating apps personally. I don't know why they get such a bad rap. Because where else are you going to see people in their most natural form, right? Like one time I was swiping through, I came across the profile of an entire prison cell block. I wasn't aware that they were allowed to do that. And like the profile was primarily for the head dude. I don't remember what his name was, so I named him King Shiv. I thought it was fitting. And King Shiv, he let us know that if we wanted to, we could contact him or any of his cell block buddies and maybe have a smoldering date in 5 to 10 years. Which if you think about it is really sweet because I feel like most men, they just want a conjugal visit and quit it. No, these men, they were down to cuff it. I probably should bring up handcuffs around criminals. That's in bad taste. That's okay. Some of you all are still getting it. But he did know why he was in prison. He's a really good communicator, King Shiv. And I want you all to play the little guessing game of why was this man in prison? Okay, so we have a wide variety all at once. That's the quickest we've ever done. What did you say?
Unpaid parking fines.
That's what you get jailed for?
Yeah.
That's just imagine there's somebody in jail right now for like killing his entire family, and then he's put in a room with, well, I didn't pay my parking tickets. And they're best friends, and it's a new single on TM. But yeah, no, he was in for the very sexy crime of aggravated assault. Which, if you think about it, is arguably the sexiest of assaults. That's why Jazz is playing right now. This is so great for somebody with really bad ADHD. But yeah, no. Surprisingly, my mother is proud of all my decisions. Which, if you're a comedian, is very few and far between. Because when you tell most people you're a comedian, the room falls silent. Like a death has occurred. The death, of course, being my job prospects. But no, my mom tells everybody what I'm up to, like I'm curing cancer instead of telling dick jokes all across Seattle. And in fact, I can imagine my sweet little Midwestern mother. Let's imagine her all together, right? Okay, so she's about yay high. Unless she has teased, sprayed, gelled, and molded her hair, and then she's about yay high. She is 62, but she looks to be about 50. Can't wait for those genetics to kick in. And due to our Italian heritage, she not only speaks very emphatically with her hands, she also speaks at the top of her lungs! I now have hearing problems. But I love my mother, and now that we're imagining her together, let's imagine her at her little Home Depot job. She's scanning the screws, the nuts, the bolts, whatever the fuck that is, and she comes across the lumber. And she locks eyes with one of her customers and she goes, "Oh, my daughter loves to make jokes about wood. They also like to make dick jokes too." Thank you, folks. That was a great note to leave off on. You've been a wonderful audience.